Hey, what's up, CC? It's Bryant, lead pastor of Centerpoint. I just want to take a few moments to talk to you about how your financial generosity is having a massive impact again in this season. We call these return on investment because there is always a return on your financial generosity. Like God uses it in a massive way to build his church and to lead people to life and freedom in Jesus. And we're seeing God do incredible things. As you know, it's been 2 crazy years of pandemic culture that has severely impacted the church as at large in the United States and all over the world. In fact, most churches are 50 to 60% of pre-pandemic numbers, and just recently they said around 400 churches again have closed. And so those are all really sobering statistics. And it also makes me even more grateful for what God is doing through you and through this church, because we are experiencing incredible momentum. We're seeing God grow our church, and we're seeing life change like never before. In the last 6 weeks, as things have normalized a little bit more, maybe more so than any other time in the last 2 years, we've been at 80% capacity in one of our services just about every week. We're seeing our kids' numbers grow significantly. Like our percentage ratio of kids to adults is way higher than it was even pre-pandemic. And we've always reached a lot of families, but we're seeing more families and more kids come than ever before. And on Easter weekend, we saw 50 of those kids make professions of faith and trust in Christ. What we're seeing is absolutely incredible. Our Velocity middle school, high school environment is growing like crazy. And then on Easter weekend, we saw one of our greatest weekends ever. We did our spring fling on Saturday, which if you give, you made that happen. It costs a lot of money, but we saw thousands of people come out from all over our community, have an incredible time, and then many of them even attended an Easter service. And there's no doubt we're to continue to see just the impact of that in the months to come, as we had that huge event to just let our community know, hey, we're for you, we love you, this is an alternative to church as usual. And we saw many people lean into that message, and like I said, even already attend. And then on Easter weekend, we had 4 services, and on Sunday was maybe one of the most special Sundays I've ever been a part of. At both of our services, we were absolutely packed. The 11 a.m. was a first for me because we opened up the back auditorium doors and we just had overflow into the lobby because we were just way over capacity. Had so many guests from all over the community. And with adults and kids, we saw 70 people make professions of faith in Christ, begin to follow Jesus. And some of the stories are what get me. I had a friend that messaged me on Easter weekend to say, hey, I have 3 friends that have never come to church. They're coming this weekend. Would you pray for them? And then I got a message at the end of Easter weekend to say, hey, guess what? 2 of those 3 friends at the end of one of the services placed their faith and trust in Jesus. And then I had another really good friend that's been inviting a couple for months that came, loved it, again, placed their faith and trust in Jesus. And they made one of the coolest comments to me that I heard multiple times that weekend. They said, the vibe of this place is incredible. And they're like, it's so cool to be a part of a multi-ethnic, multicultural church, which was so cool to hear because it's a big goal of our church as just a reflection of the gospel. And there was just so many other stories. I had so many grown adults in tears because they invited somebody and they saw God do something significant in their life, or told stories of they can't wait to come back next week. So I just want to say thank you for creating alternative to church as usual. Thank you for leading people to life and freedom in Jesus. Thank you for the seeds that you've sown over these last 2 years. We're just starting to see some of the fruit of that, and it is incredible. And the church that is emerging on the other side of this 2-year pandemic and all of its implications is incredible, and it's extraordinary. And I believe that our greatest days are ahead. And we spent a lot of time over the pandemic making sure that we really vision cast for the future and doubled down on what we thought God was calling us to. And that was to be an outsider-focused church for the city and community, because that's the heart of Jesus. And then with a bunch of people like me who grew up in the church going, I want to grow and I want to reach my city. And we're seeing God reach more outsiders, more. I've been away from the church for a decade than ever before. And then we decided we want to double down on engagement and discipleship. And that's actually our biggest priority right now behind the scenes of leading a church, where we're just leading people to grow in terms of taking steps toward Jesus. And then thirdly, we wanted to create a multi-ethnic, multicultural, multiracial, socioeconomically diverse, multi-generational church. It's always been a goal, But over these last 2 years, we've really moved in Vision Cast in that direction, and God's doing it. We're reaching more young people. We've always reached families, but more young people, 20-somethings than ever before. And we are increasingly becoming a multicultural, multi-ethnic church, which is the heart of the gospel, which is the gospel of reconciliation. So I don't know if you know it, but with what's happened in the church at large over the United States, what God's doing through you is unique. It's special. We're seeing incredible momentum. And this last weekend of Easter was a little glimpse into what God's doing. And it wouldn't happen without you praying, without you serving, and specifically to this group of people, without your financial generosity. So thank you. Let's keep going. We're just getting started. But I just wanted to update you on that. Could not be more grateful and more anticipating what God's going to do in the days ahead. Love you guys.